I'm Rod Wickstrom. I'll be chairman tonight. We'll start off with a roll call for the commissioners. Commissioner Birch,
Here.
Commissioner Murphy,
Here.
Commissioner Colson, Commissioner Rowley,
Here.
and we'll be excusing Commissioner Scott tonight.
I'm here.
Oh, there he is. Oh, Commissioner Scott, welcome. Okay. So how this will play out tonight the order goes like this. The staff will give a presentation for the applicant. After the staff presents, the applicant will come forward. They'll have 15 minutes, up to 15 minutes if they need it, to talk about their application. Following that, we'll have comments made by the public. When you come forward, you'll have 3 minutes. If you'd please give your name and address, and then you'll have 3 minutes to give your presentation. Following that, we'll have staff come back up and answer any questions that the commissioners might have, clarify anything. Following that, the applicant can come forward with any rebuttal from any comments that were made in the public, or just to clarify things. After that, the commission will then look for a motion and a vote to either approve, deny, or table the application.
If I can remember how to do that.
We'll start out tonight. Application 2025-02508 ZCDA MSP, Robert Zinner, and we'll have Christy Inneman.
Sorry about that. Okay. Sorry about that. Good evening, commissioners. For the record, Christy Enselman, Community Planning Manager. The application before you this evening is project number 2025-02508-ZC-DA-MSP. The applicant is seeking approval of a zoning ordinance map amendment to rezone the property from rural urban transition to limited industrial, which is an M1, with a development agreement and a master site plan for a heavy equipment sales and service. Sorry, I just ran down the hallway. The property is located at 5275 West Franklin Road. It is on the south side of Franklin between Black Cat and McDermott, and contains 1.98 acres. The property has an existing single-family dwelling on the property that is proposed to be demolished with this application. The property is located in Meridian's area of impact and is designated as mixed employment within the 10-mile interchange specific area, which encourages diverse land uses that include office, research, light industrial, as well as other miscellaneous uses. The properties immediately to the east and the west are both zoned limited industrial, the M1. It should also be noted that Franklin Road has been designed to be widened to 5 lanes and is in ACHD's 5-year plan with a construction year of 2027. The applicant submitted a site plan showing a 3,500 square foot office with a 6-foot tall solid fence around a gravel yard to store the equipment. The site plan shows 6 parking spaces, 1 ADA space, which is compliant with Ada County Code, which requires a minimum of 1 space per 1,000 square feet. The parking spaces meet the dimensional standards as well and are proposed to be constructed of asphalt. The applicant also submitted a landscape and lighting plan by a licensed landscape professional. Unfortunately, it appears that the landscape plan was developed under the previous code. Therefore, the applicant is conditioned to submit a revised plan to meet Ada County Code as well as reflect the future right-of-way acquisition for Franklin Road. We received no comments from the public on this application. We did receive comments from partner agencies and service providers. This first slide is specifically those agencies tied to the City of Meridian. So the City of Meridian was not opposed to the use. They provided specific conditions and asked that they be implemented with this use and that the use only be permitted as on an interim temporary basis until, with a sunset date, until such time that it's eligible for annexation. Property immediately adjacent to the project has submitted an annexation application already to the city, so it will be contiguous soon. The use is generally consistent with the comp plan, supportive of a single access, and the city is supportive of the single access point onto Franklin Road. And they did ask that the applicant coordinate with ACHG for right-of-way preservation, and they spoke to cross-access to the west and to the east. Meridian Fire Department spoke to access and water supply should meet their requirements for Idaho Fire Code. Meridian Public Works commented that no sewer or water services would be allowed without annexation. The applicant is proposing to utilize the existing septic system on the property as well for now. Ada County Community and Regional Planning replied that it was the proposal and zoning is consistent with the adopted Meridian Comprehensive Plan. Building official, of course, building permits that would need to meet commercial occupancy need to be done by an Idaho licensed design professional, as well as the applicant will need to obtain a demolition permit for removal of the existing dwelling. Ada County Highway District commented that the applicant could enter into a road trust in lieu of constructions along their frontage on Franklin Road and coordinate that right-of-way dedication for the widening project. And then the two existing driveways would be closed, and then the new driveway is approved by ACHD. Ada County engineer responded that the applicant will need to get a grading and drainage permit, and Central District would require approval of the septic system, so it would need to be evaluated even though it's existing. It's an old one, so they don't have a lot of records on that septic system. Staff's recommendation is that the commission recommend approval of project number 2025-02508-ZC-DA-MSP to the board. And I will stand for any questions. Once I catch my breath, I was running.
Thank you very much. Hot and sour soup, I think, is what you need.
Do what?
Hot and sour soup. Anyway, any questions from the commissioners? I just have one. After the end of 5 years, then it would just be the same process that we're going through right now.
Mr. Chairman, the applicant would just need to submit an application for an MSP if they were to stay in the county. If they were contiguous to city limits at that time, our Title IX agreement with the City of Meridian is that they would have to seek annexation first. The zoning map amendment, that would rezone the property to an industrial. So if it stayed in the county, that doesn't change. It would just be the use through the MSB that they would have to resubmit an application for.
Very good. Thank you. Any other questions?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Murphy?
Hello, Mrs. Inselman. The property adjacent to the south, is that owned by the same property owner, or is that a completely different? It's that wide open field.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Murphy, it is owned by somebody else.
Okay.
This is a separate ownership on this 2-acre piece.
And then it looks like they would need an easement at that point, right? Because they wouldn't be able to get on that little thin strip down to their property. Has that come up at all?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Murphy, that was something that came up in Meridian's letter, that through annexation that they're working with It's a property, I believe, to the east that has sought an annexation. So we're trying to work with that applicant as well to get a cross-access agreement so that they would have access to Franklin Road.
Thank you.
And it's generally the plan of theirs is to limit the number of access points on an arterial.
Thank you.
Any questions? Thank you very much. We'll have the applicant come forward, your name and address, and you'll have 15 minutes.
Elias, do I need to stop share and then share again for this one? Okay. Oh, wait, no, window.
Hi, Def.
Beginning.
I need this.
No. More technical difficulties.
It's that kind of evening.
Oh,
Maybe?
can you click for me?
Yeah, of course.
That'll work. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. I'm Mike Williams. I'm with South Beck and Baird, 2002 South Vista Avenue. I'm representing the clients who are the owners of the property, Robert and Amber Zahner. Our request, as Christy mentioned, is to rezone the property from RUT, which is your rural urban transition zone, to M1, the limited industrial. With that, go ahead. We're also requesting master site plan approval, which comes as part of the rezone, and also enter into a development agreement to determine and restrict the uses on the site. The staff report does have the definition of what we're proposing, the heavy equipment sales, service, and rentals. The Zahners, what they do is they rent those large power generators that are used all over the valley, like for concerts or power outages, or I believe, and Rob can correct me if I'm wrong, they're like a quiet whisper generator, and they rent those throughout the valley. The use is actually a permitted use within the zone, but it still requires the approval of a master site plan as well as a landscaping plan. She said licensed landscape architect prepared those plans. Our firm, we're the licensed landscape architects, and we have several architects on staff. Christie covered the vicinity. It is located on the south side of Franklin Road. It's about 1,485 feet west of Black Cat on both sides. Go ahead, Christie, please. There's an aerial of the site, and you've already seen the aerial. Yeah, you'll notice that to the east, on that, to the right there, that's Black Butte fence, then their fencing yard, and to the west, and it's actually divided off from our property by the Shoemaker property to the south, and that's the one you referred to that had the narrow little access to the Franklin Road, is actually an RV storage area. Master site plan. This is a storage yard for the generators, and they'll have a office. It's about 3,500 square feet, a small office, and then it will also have within that a small area for shop, for working on everything within a building. And you'll notice in your part of the record, the City of Meridian requesting that any work that takes place will be inside an enclosed structure. In this case, it will. The landscape plan, we understand that we need to do a landscape plan up to the current code. We'll adjust the site, and we'll get into the adjusting the site as well when we talk about the ACHD right away. We can skip this one and just go to the next one with the aerial, and I can walk us through everything. So to the north, and it's highlighted in blue right now, that's owned by DMB Investments. I'm sure you're all familiar with DMB Investments. They do a lot of development around the valley. City of Eagle, City of Meridian, Ada County. Then to the east is the Black Butte fence. To the west is the Shoemaker property with the narrow access, and then the RV storage. And to the north, there are 2 residential structures, and there's also a landscaping business that's operating from one of those properties. So the request is for a rezone from that RUT to M1, the approval of the master site plan, as well as the applicant is supportive and willing to enter into a development agreement. We understand development agreements that's the contract that dictates the uses and the conditions on the site as part of the site approval, the rezone approval. Conditions of approval, we're in agreement with all the conditions, and I was gonna say with the exception of one, and it was the one that we're troubled with is limiting, putting a sunset for 5 years. But when Christie, that's what I was asking Richard on the way up, if all we have to do is come back in 5 years and submit a master site plan to have the master site plan reapproved, that's an administrative approval, so we actually don't have to go through a hearing process. So with that being said, I think we're fine with leaving that 5-year limitation, but here's what's key. Christie spoke to it. Butte Fence is already in the process of an annexation. It benefits our client for that annexation to take place. We want those services. And I've spoke to the city of Meridian, the engineering, I've spoke to Caleb several times as we walk through everything, as long as Rob's worked closely with ACHD. But the sewer is right there. It's like 75 feet away, but it's the end of the line. But after speaking with their public works engineer, he indicated that we could connect into that if we're annexed. That's what's key. So once Butte Fence annexes, we'll more than likely be requesting an annexation so we can connect into those services, which will also make Central District Health happy, as you well know. And then, go ahead. I want to touch on the ACHD. You'll notice that if you look at what's being proposed acreage-wise, it's 1.98 acres. In my narrative, I speak to 1.72 acres. We've already taken into account that ACHD right-of-way. Rob's been working really closely with ACHD. It took us a long time to get here. And the reason for that, no fault of yours, ACHD, in their fine design, when they're designing the widening of Franklin, put a drainage storage pond on the property. And it took up almost half of Mr. Zahner's property. So Mr. Zahner went and met with them several times, and we got to the point finally that I don't know what they redesigned or what they've done, but they've removed the drainage pond, thank goodness. But we do acknowledge that we have to work with ACHD as far as the right-of-way that's going to be required, and we believe we've already taken that into account, but if there's additional right-of-way that ACHD is going to require, we understand. And with that, I'll stand for questions.
Thank you very much. Any questions for the applicant? Commissioner Birch?
This is actually more a question for Christie or for Mr. Beck. I just want to clarify for the applicant's benefit. So in 5 years, assuming that Meridian has annexed the property, is it true that it's basically perfunctory, it's an administrative matter, or do they come before Meridian's Planning and Zoning Commission and basically go through the process? Because Meridian's standards are going to be different than Ada County's standards, correct? So what is the answer? Because I don't want the applicant to be misled.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Birch. So under Title IX, our agreement with the City of Meridian, a master site plan, which is what they would have to come back for, that is one of the application types that if they were contiguous, they would have to seek annexation into city limits. So they couldn't come back to us and just do an administrative master site plan application to renew the use. They would have to seek annexation. If for some reason the city denied it or notified us that they would not require it, then they could come to us with an administrative. But the agreement as of today, they would have to seek annexation, which would be a public hearing item before
Okay.
Meridian.
And if I can follow up with that, when the annexation would occur, if they would seek annexation, is the annexation itself automatically approving the use, or do they annex and then go, okay, well, now you're part of the city and you're going to go through the planning and zoning process that we have? Just like this board, except for it's Meridian's board.
Want to answer that question?
Chairman Wickstrom and Commissioner Birch, thank you for the question. So I'm experienced, and I'm not talking from the private sector. I actually worked for one of the cities within Ada County for over 19 years as their lead planner. So I understand the process. You're spot on. And we wouldn't be coming back with a master site plan in 5 years, especially since the area of impact agreement with the city of Meridian requires us to annex. So to touch on your question regarding the use, so as part of an annexation, anytime you annex a property into a city, you have to rezone at the same time because the city has to place their zoning designation on their annexed property. So as part of that request, we would be requesting a zone that would be similar to your M1 limited industrial zone. So it'd be whatever is comparable in Meridian City Code, and that's the zone we would be requesting.
Perfect. I just wanted to make sure everybody's got their eyes open on this, so I'm glad that you have experience with it. Thank you.
Commissioner Murphy.
How you doing, Mike? I didn't catch your last name, sorry. So then you're okay with all the items that have been set forth and you have no major concerns moving forward? Or do you have a major concern with some of the items, the conditions of approval?
And Chairman Wickstrom, Commissioner Murphy, I've spoken and worked with the client. We have reviewed all the conditions. We're in agreement with all the conditions. I understand these are typical conditions you would see with this style of use and the steps you need to take in order to obtain the zoning certificate to allow that use to occur and the property to be developed. So we are in agreement with the conditions.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, because I think Commissioner Birch was trying to make sure that there wasn't an issue that you had, and he was trying, I think, I don't mean to speak for Commissioner Birch, but we just wanted to make sure that you dotted all the i's and you're comfortable with it, so
And
thank you.
Commissioner Murphy, it was just, I believe it was number 4, it was just that 5-year limitation, but since it's just a master site plan, and we're going to probably be requesting annexation long before that 5 years regardless.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you for clarifying the applicant's desire to be annexed into the city. That kind of helps to.
Oh,
Some
absolutely.
people don't want to be annexed and others do.
And Chairman, when it involves services, that's really important.
Okay. I just had a couple, how many employees does he plan to have?
Chairman Wickstrom, probably 3 maximum.
Okay. And if I'll, just one more, the city of Meridian's got quite a few things in here, but with the cross-access, is that a problem and later down the road? Especially with that easement for the back property and just how relatively small your property is.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, cross-access with a property that small and trying to work out a site may be difficult, and not knowing, especially when we're surrounded on 2 sides. We're surrounded on the west and the south by a large property, not knowing how that's going to develop. And part of a cross-access, as you well know, you have to enter into like a cooperative agreement between the 2 parties. So until we can see what is coming or what's going to be developed on the flag pole, if you will, it's difficult to put in, okay, we'll do cross-access here. That property may develop with something on the south side to where we might be able to install a gate that would allow us access onto a road or a service drive.
Okay, very good. Yeah, we're just, I think Commissioner Birch, Commissioner Murphy, just trying to, everything that you do now will be grandfathered in as much as possible.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
So, okay, any other questions? Thank you very much. Commissioner Scott, did you have any questions?
I do not, thank you.
I want to leave you out. All right, we have no public comments on this one. Turn the time back over to Christy Inselman. Any other questions that we have? All right, with that,
Mr. Chairman, I just want to enter into the record as exhibit number 24 would be my presentation and exhibit number 25 would be the applicant's presentation.
all right, thank you very much. If you'd like to come back forward, Mr. Williams, if you're done, you said what needs to be said. Any other questions that we might have? Okay. With that, we'll look for a motion. Commissioner Murphy?
Based upon the findings and facts and conclusions of law contained herein and the testimony from the public hearing, I move the commission recommend approval of project number 2025-025-08-ZC-DA-MSP to the board, subject to the conditions of approval attached as Exhibit A and the master site plan dated December 23rd, 2025.
We have a motion for approval. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Commissioner Colson seconds. All in favor, please indicate, sorry. Could you like to speak to your motion, Commissioner Murphy?
Mr. Chairman, just simple. It's sandwiched between two M1 already. The applicant is fine with all the conditions. There's no public testimony that is against it, so it seems pretty straightforward.
Thank you. Commissioner Colson, any comments?
I just think it's a great fit. I mean, exactly what Commissioner said over there is sandwiched in between two pieces of other property. So, no, I think it's a good fit.
Small-sized building on that lot. With that, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. Move on to application 2026-00468, CPA ZOA. It's Ada County, and Ms. Dupree will be presenting to us.
Maybe. Have you shared this? Isn't it this one?
Share from there.
That's it. Okay. Sure.
And then you just.
To the presentation?
Yeah.
Sorry, commissioners. Getting too technical up here. Anyway, good evening, Mr. Chairman, commissioners. For the record, Stacy Dupree with Development Services. Tonight's item is project number 2026-00468-CPA-ZOA and is for a comprehensive plan map and text amendment and zoning ordinance amendment. This project is for a comprehensive plan and map amendment to adopt the City of Kuna comprehensive plan and future land use map as adopted by Ada County, to update the Kuna comprehensive plan and future land use map as adopted by Ada County on October 22nd of 2025, and to modify the Kuna area of impact. The City of Kuna amended their future land use map on February 17th of 2026 and by resolution number R26-2026, and submitted the request on February 18th of 2026. The current area of impact for the City of Kuna is shown here in the light purple, and the Kuna city limits is shown in light brown, so you have an idea of what is existing. And then the proposed area of impact to be reduced by approximately 5,531 acres. The City of Kuna has determined that these properties are not feasibly able to be annexed or served by city services, and in accordance with Idaho Code 67-65264A. Property owners affected by the proposed modification were notified by mail of tonight's public hearing as required, including the renotification of tonight's public hearing, because this was initially set for the May 14th meeting, and we did have to cancel that and move it to tonight. So everything was renoticed as necessary. Which leads us to, as outlined in the findings of fact and conclusions of law and shown here, the procedural process has been followed to complete for the PNC public hearing. We initially accepted that on March 23rd, and agency transmittals were sent out on March 31st. The property owners of the affected parcels, as I said previously, were notified by mail, specifically on April 7th and again on May 20th. Public service announcements were sent out on May 1st and June 2nd, and public notices were published in the Idaho Press on April 25th and May 2nd, and then again for on May 23rd and May 30th. This comprehensive map amendment is also compliant with the 3 goals outlined in the findings of fact document and as shown here. These goals support updating comprehensive plans and coordinating with the cities and other entities in supporting land use and development policies in their adopted comprehensive plans. Updating and adopting the amendment to the future land use map helps ensure that land decisions made by Ada County within Kuna's area of impact are in accordance with the city's vision for the area. There were only 3 written responses received, and there were no objections. The one response by a member of the public was in support of this modification, but did express concern regarding the amended Title IX agreement between Ada County and the City of Eagle, which is not being considered tonight. So staff recommends the approval of this project, 2026-00468 CPA ZOA, with recommendation to the board. And this presentation will be added as, excuse me, as Exhibit 16. And I'll stand for any questions.
Thank you. Any
Oh, we're
questions?
having a hard time here. Excuse me.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Commissioner Murphy?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hey, Ms. Dupuy. Was the public comment about the Eagle AOI similar to the reason why Kuna is shrinking their AOI? Because Eagle kind of stretched it all the way up, and they have no resources up there currently to accommodate that, or what was their I guess major note about that?
Sure. Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Murphy. Actually, they were more concerned with the Title IX change and how applications do need to go to Eagle regarding annexation prior to coming to Ada County. They felt like that was getting too restrictive on Eagle property owners, and so was letting us know that.
Oh, okay, so kind of not really connected. Thank you so
Not
much.
really connected with it at all, which is why I really, kind of just said, doesn't have anything to do with this
Yeah, I was like,
application,
what are
unfortunately.
they saying? Okay, thank you.
So a lot of, these properties that are being taken out of the area of impact, a lot of them were state lands for the most part. So, and again, they just really are not, developable. And so, yes, the city is removing a lot of that. So, just so you know.
Thank you. Any other questions? You are the applicant too.
Yes,
For everything done.
Mr. Chairman, yes, Ada County Development Service is the applicant.
Thank you. No other questions? So you're done then? I mean,
Unless you have anything further for me, yes.
so there's no public comment? Anybody in the public who'd like to address, have questions on this? Thank you. All right, with that, we can look for a motion to either approve, deny, or table. Commissioner Murphy?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move to recommend approval to the board, project number 2026-00468-CPA-ZOA, Kuna Area of Impact.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Rowley?
No.
No, Commissioner.
No, it's me, Commissioner Scott.
Oh, so it's
Burbridge.
Commissioner Scott, okay. Commissioner Scott.
I'm the
second.
big speaker. I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Scott. We have a second. Commissioner Murphy, would you like to speak to your motion?
No, nothing.
strict.
Yeah.
Okay. Commissioner Scott, same thing?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? It's unanimous for approval. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just a question, Mr. Beck. So on this next one, the withdrawal, we don't really, do we have to just acknowledge that it's been withdrawn?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, if you would like, I think a motion just to remove it from the agenda would be appropriate, just to remove that particular file number from the agenda, and that would take care of it.
So we're looking for a motion to withdraw item number 2 on the new business, the 2026-00683 ZCDAOTD. Commissioner Birch?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we withdraw item number 202-600-683-ZC-DA-OTD from the agenda.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Colson, second. I won't ask you to speak to your motion, it'd be fine, if you don't mind. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. Moving on to Application 2026-00-633 ZCDA OTD Jahil Bahar. All right, we'll turn time, Mr. Holton.
Thanks. Planning and Zoning Commission, project number 2026-00633-ZC-DA-OTD is an application for a zoning ordinance map amendment, a development agreement, and a one-time division to rezone the property from the rural residential district to the rural urban transition district, and to create one 7.27 acre property and one 5.07 acre property. There are no structures proposed as part of this application. The property is located at 5445 East King Road and contains 12.33 acres currently within the rural residential district. The property is within the CUNA area of impact. The proposed zoning ordinance map amendment and one-time division is in compliance with the CUNA comprehensive plan as adopted by Ada County, as the proposal will be conducive to the continuation of small-scale agriculture within an area of impact. This slide shows the existing structures on the property, including dwelling, multiple small sheds, pergolas, a greenhouse, shops, and the well and septic system locations. The subject properties, after a rezone and one-time division, will meet the minimum lot size dimensional standards of 5 acres for the rural urban transition district. The western lot, parcel 2, is proposed to be approximately 5.07 acres. The western lot, eastern lot, parcel 1, is proposed to be 7.28 acres. Each proposed parcel will meet the minimum street frontage requirements for the rural urban transition district of 250 feet. Some agency comments received were that the Central District Health Department makes no guarantee that a septic permit will be issued for the split-off lot. A speculative site evaluation is recommended. Any septic system currently installed must remain on the parcel of the structure it serves. The Boise Project Board of Control commented that local irrigation or drainage ditches must remain unobstructed. The Ada County building official commented that a building permit will be required for any future new structures over 200 square feet. And the Ada County surveyor commented that the parcel descriptions close and match the areas listed. Additional corrections to the record of survey will be needed, however. A radius notice was sent to property owners within a 1,000-foot radius, and no neighbors provided comments on this application. Some key conditions of approval are: the draft record of survey shall be revised as recommended by the Ada County surveyor. The owner and/or applicant shall obtain a new tax parcel numbers from the Ada County assessor. The owner and/or applicant shall provide one copy of the revised and recorded record of survey, proof of assignment of new tax parcel numbers, and one copy of the updated and recorded deeds. Once the following documentation is provided, the owner and/or applicant shall request a letter stating that the one-time division has been finalized. Staff recommends approval of project number 2026-00633-ZC-DA-OTD to the Ada County Planning and Zoning Commission. This presentation will be added as an exhibit to the record, and I will stand for any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Holton. Any questions for staff? None received? Thank you very much. I'd like to invite the applicant to come forward. Give your name and address, and you'll have 15 minutes.
Hi, my name is Hail Behar. I am not the applicant. I am helping the applicant. The applicant is Juan Gabriel Ayon. I'm just his representative. I live at 942 North School Avenue in CUNA. This is Juan Gabriel. He is the applicant.
Okay.
Juan Gabriel is requesting a rezone from rural residential to RU2, which is rural urban transition. He's requesting a one-time division so that he can, in the future, build himself a new home. He purchased the property hace 7 años, about 7 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago, it already had two properties on the lot. When he purchased them, they were kind of fixer-uppers, so he has cleaned them up and fixed them up and remodeled them. But in the future, he would like to build himself a nicer, newer home for his family. Since there's already 2 existing homes, he would have to either tear one down or request this land split. And so this is what he would prefer to do, is divide it into 2 pieces so that in the future, he can build himself another home.
Thank you. Any questions for the applicant? Just a quick one. So the way the houses are situated right now, there's not one on each of the proposed lots? Are they both of the houses are on one parcel?
No, so the way that if the division gets approved, there will be one home on each parcel.
Okay. But there's only, okay.
Yes.
Great. Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Turn back to staff. Any questions for staff? Seeing that, there are none. And there's any other public comments? I have none on my list here. And so you've already, unless there's something else you want to add? Good to go. Thank you very much. So with that, we'll look for a motion to approve, deny, or table.
Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner Murphy.
Excuse me. Based upon the findings and facts and conclusions of law contained herein and the testimony from the public hearing, I move the commission recommend approval to the Ada County Board of Commissioners for project number 2026-00633-ZC-DA-OTD, subject to the conditions of approval attached as Exhibit A.
We have a motion for approval. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Raleigh? Okay, sorry, I was looking for some motion. Would you like to speak to your motion, Commissioner Murphy?
Mr. Chairman, it seems like a logical approach to this, I guess, roughly 12-acre property. No issues from neighbors, and it's pretty logical. So, yeah.
Commissioner Raleigh, any comments?
Yeah, no further comment. I concur with Commissioner Murphy.
Okay. Commissioner Birch, Commissioner Colson, any comments? Okay. Yeah, they're both over 5 acres, so it's going to be more than the minimum. Commissioner Scott, any comments?
No, thank you.
Thank you. With that, we have all in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, nay? It passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Yeah. You want to make a motion to do that? Yeah, sure. Let me pull it up. Commissioner Birch, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I would like to move that we rearrange the agenda because there's one item here that's simply a table, and so it should take virtually no time. And that's item number 202-600-273-ZC-SP-PR-HD-ALT and 202-400-171-DA-DM. And I would like to move that be heard now, and then the final item would be the Kimberlite Ranch.
We have a motion to adjust the agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Colson, second. All in favor of rearranging the agenda so we can deal with number 5, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you, Commissioner Birch. This next item that was just previously read, I'd like to look for a motion to table this application.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Commissioner Murphy.
I move that we table to the July 16th, 2026 Planning and Zoning meeting, project number 2026 00273-ZC-S-PUD-MSP-PR-HD-ALT, and 202400171-DA-DM.
We have a motion to table this application. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you, Commissioner Birch. All in favor of tabling this motion, please indicate by saying aye.
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 And any opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. We'll move on to our last application here, application 2025-02-461, CU MSP, Kimberlite Ranch. And we're back to Mr. Holton.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Scott.
I just have a question. So because there's something being passed out, I see, and this is a question for staff, should I recuse since I'm not going to be able to see that? Just want to make sure,
Mr.
I
Holton,
mean, since we have enough.
is this from the applicant, or from,
This is from
Public.
a property owner to the northeast.
okay.
Mr. Chairman, I think I've seen these pictures in the actual staff report towards the bottom. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe some of the photos are in the staff.
I think they're in the staff report already. This is just an easier way to look at it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, no worries. I just want to make sure. Cool.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Scott, for bringing that up. Back to you, Mr.
Planning and-
Holton.
Nope. Planning and Zoning Commission, project number 202502461-CU-MSP is a conditional use in a master site plan to allow for an outdoor-only event center to host outdoor weddings, agricultural education, outdoor meals, and a modest horseback riding. No structures are proposed as part of this application. The property contains 44 acres within the Rural Preservation District, and it is located at 13999 East Highway 21. The southern portion of the property features steep slopes. However, no events or structures are proposed within the areas of the property with steep slopes. Properties to the south and southeast of the property are public. The property is not located within an area of impact. The future land use of Ada County Comprehensive Plan designates the property as agriculture. A goal of the Ada County Comprehensive Plan is to continue support for recreation and tourism outside of areas of impacts. Access to the site will be via State Highway 21. The uses for the general area are agricultural and residential. This slide shows the master site plan. The applicants have proposed that the outdoor event center operate between the months of May through October on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. The maximum number of patrons will be 150, which includes bridal parties. There will not be food prepared on site, and clients of the outdoor event center will have to coordinate their own food services. Portable restrooms will be provided for each event. Due to a conditional use within a rural-based district, a landscaping plan can be waived. Staff finds that a landscaping waiver is justified due to the large amount of existing landscaping on the property that could screen outdoor events. Similarly, all outdoor lighting will be temporary only. Due to the type of lighting proposed, string lighting and solar pathway lighting, Ada County lighting standards do not apply. The applicant is proposing a total of 102 parking spaces. Event centers in Ada County are required to provide 5 parking spaces per 1,000 square feet per proposed structure, but because no structures are proposed, there is not a specific number of parking spaces required by Ada County. Based on the maximum attendance of 150 guests, the proposed 102 parking spaces would be adequate for the use. As a condition of approval, a revised parking plan showing drive aisle widths will be required. If the drive aisle widths are less than 25 feet, then the drive aisle shall be one-way only. Some of the agency comments received were, the Idaho Department of Fish and Game had no comment. The Ada County Highway District commented that any improvements or work in the right-of-way must comply with ACHD policies. The Idaho Transportation Department commented that a joint use commercial permit for existing access onto State Highway 21 will be required. The approach width will need to be between 20 and 40 feet. The approach radii will need to be between 30 and 40 feet. Any part of the approach within ITD's right-of-way will need to be paved. The berm along State Highway 21 may need to be modified to ensure adequate sight distance for exiting traffic. ITD will reevaluate access to State Highway 21 if safety becomes a concern, and a right turn lane warrant and/or analysis will be required. Property owners in the area commented with opposition to the project because the project is incompatible with the Rural Preservation District. The proposal contradicts the Ada County Comprehensive Plan. The proposal constitutes a spot zoning. There's concern with negative effects on property values, traffic, and wildlife. The proposal conflicts with the current Kimberlite/Ripple Ranch advertisements. Events have occurred on the site since June 2023. An unpermitted bed and breakfast is operating on the property. Use of an on-site guest house is used as part of events, but not included in the application materials. Hosting overnight stays and dance parties on the property. There are trespassing concerns, there are environmental concerns, and there is concern about a lack of adequate septic systems. To address some of the public comments received, staff finds that the Ada County Community and Regional Planner commented that this application is compatible with the comprehensive plan because opportunities for recreation and tourism-related uses are encouraged outside of areas of impact. This application is not for a zone change, and therefore this is not spot zoning. The Idaho Transportation Department reviewed the application and commented with conditions of approval that will require a right turn lane warrant and analysis. And standards for the Wildland Urban Interface Overlay District have been included as a term of approval. A condition of approval will require adequate portable toilets and hand washing sinks be provided for all events. Of the 41 public comments received, 38 were in favor and 3 were opposed to this application. A common theme of those in support of the application were support for local agriculture and agrotourism, support for agricultural education experiences, support for small businesses, and support for preserving rural lands. Staff was made aware of unpermitted uses and structures on the property and met with the applicant to discuss solutions to get those issues resolved. These solutions have been added as conditions of approval. Some of the key conditions of approval are the owner and/or applicant shall seek approval for the existing unpermitted structure within the setbacks adjacent to State Highway 21 through a variance application. The owner and/or applicant shall obtain approval for a stable. The owner and/or applicant shall either discontinue uses that have not gotten approval or seek approval for the use by submitting a conditional use permit for a bed and breakfast. Additional conditions of approval include that the hours of operation shall be from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. Fridays through Sundays, May through October. All outdoor lighting shall terminate 1 hour after the event's conclusion. Only temporary lighting is approved for the outdoor event center, and the owner and/or applicant shall submit a revised lighting plan should additional lighting be needed. Comply with the standards for vegetation control, driveways, and existing structures within the Wildland Urban Interface Overlay District, and comply with the Ada County's noise ordinance. Staff finds that this application, as conditioned, complies with Ada County Code and recommends approval to the Planning and Zoning Commission. And this presentation will be added as an exhibit to the record, and I will stand for any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Holden. Any questions for staff? Commissioner Rowley.
Yeah, Mr. Holden, just not a big issue in the overall application here, but out of curiosity, the reports on both ACHD and ITD, can you explain who has jurisdiction there, and are they conflicting? Are they in sync? What's the story there?
Commissioner
Thank
Rowley.
you.
Yes, so we're required to transmit to ACHD for all applications, but ITD has jurisdiction over this roadway, but they're in agreement.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? I have a couple. I don't know if it's something you're going to know or if I need to talk to leave it for the applicant. So on the synopsis here, it's looking for an event center for weddings and agricultural education with pack animals. So, that's still lumped in there. Is that all going to fall within that 3 to 10 p.m. timeframe? Or is there stuff that's going to happen during the week?
Well, as it is right now, Commissioner Wickstrom, the educational events would be limited to the 3 to 10 p.m.
Same schedule,
Same
time
schedule,
and days?
yes.
Okay, thank you. And is this this a conditional use? Is it come up for review in 1 or 2 or 3 years, or this is going to go, this is permanent?
This would be permanent.
Okay, thank you. And one last question. Would this condition just be any different if they had indoor activities? If they came up with some kind of a temporary steel structure, some structure that could come up quickly?
Well, they would have to provide adequate parking for that structure based off of Ada County parking standards. And if they did want to put a building associated with it, it would have to go through building permits, and depending on what type of structure it is, possibly a master site plan application.
Okay, thank you very much. Any others? Okay, with that, sorry, Commissioner Rowley.
Yep, thank you. Just one follow-up to make sure I understood this right. My understanding in reading the staff report was that the days of the week and the hours were limited to the events, the wedding venues or whatever. But you're saying, no, that applies to all these different services or offerings that the facility has?
Yes, that is how I've written the report, is that it applies to all events.
And that's the applicant's understanding as well?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. One last quick one. For the porta potties, it says they need to have adequate porta potties, portable toilets. There's no real number, it's up to their judgment based upon number of people they think are going to be there?
Yes, their judgment as well as Central District Health.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. And with that, we'd like to invite the applicant forward. If you could please state your name and address, and you'll have 15 minutes. I'm sorry, Commissioner Scott, did you have any questions?
No, I did not.
Okay, sorry, I don't mean
Thank
to
you.
leave you out. I'll make sure you're included in here.
Don't worry about it. I'll jump in if I got any.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, Commissioners. My name's Mark Warnke. I'm the owner of what we call Ripple Ranch, also known Kimberlite Ranch LLC. I thought it important for you to get to know kind of Tricia and I, who own the property. We're both Idaho natives. Tricia was raised in Meridian. I was raised in Melba. We both have been around agriculture our whole life. She's in the horse business. They had 60 horses growing up, and they were in a breeding facility, and she's one of the best pet handlers or animal handlers I've ever had the pleasure to see. She also is just one of those women who exudes kindness, and that's what we're about. We're about kindness, love, and gratitude. And when people come onto our ranch, we're able to fill them up with a cup of love and send them home and make a positive ripple in our community. For my business, I own 3 companies, PackOats.com, Top End Adventures. Top End Adventures is a hunting brokerage. I bring a lot of business into the state of Idaho. I'm a proud Idahoan. I feel responsible to bring revenue into my state and to employ people and to be a good member of my community. PackOats.com is the #1 source on the internet for learning about pack goats as well as raising goats. We have the largest online property. I have almost 1 million followers. I also teach regenerative ranching, and that leads us into kind of the next point of the discussion is that we believe the merging of an event and having people there gives me the opportunity to teach people about what their food is today. We've lost a reality about what a chicken is in a cellophane wrapper. We invite our guests to come in and help. And we're a raw goat dairy as well, so we're milking about 12 gallons a day. We're hardworking folks. We do 13 hours a day, and we do it 7 days a week. Bringing in outside money is really important for us. And the reason we developed into weddings was because Trish and I got married there. And it was one of the most beautiful days of my life, and it was for the people who were there as well. And we kept getting the suggestion, you should share this. And so it gave us a chance to help a couple of friends have a beautiful wedding. We went, wow, we should do this. We just need to get more official. Got in contact with planning and zoning, and we started in the process. Now, I'm nervous as a cat. I apologize, commissioners. But at the same time, at that time, from the beginning, with exemplified by things like the fact that we've already had Doug with planning and zoning, Brian with the building department, and then Lori with CHD out to the property, just to make sure that we had all our I's dotted and T's crossed. Our goal is to cooperate and comply because we have this mission, and our mission is to create community through the ranch. And what a beautiful way to do it, other than helping a bride and groom get married. It's almost everybody's most beautiful day of their life, and that's something that Trish and I deeply want to be a part of. As far as I know we have some concerns from the neighbors. I have worked very hard to have a very good relationship with my neighbors and do with many. And I believe that the people who are having issue have never been on the ranch, so it would be difficult for them to see what's happening, how we operate, how we hold ourselves in the community. As far as our goal here, it's to respect the concerns, open communication, follow conditions, and a long-term commitment to working with the city to have this be an amazing place for people who live in the city who need a piece of country. And the last thing that I would say is that we have a creek bottom down there that has become a bird sanctuary due to our taking care of the land. It's growing without being watered, and we have baby quail, baby rabbits, baby ducks, and it is as alive as it's ever been. So any contention with the whole keeping things wild and rural, we're doing that exceptionally well. And because of our huge tree grove, our events are handled down in the creek bottom and are barely visible by anybody in any direction. So I feel like we don't make an impact on the neighbors that will negatively affect them, and I feel like I'm counting on you guys, or you gentlemen, to help us out to have this, Boise Valley get a chance to have this at their whim. We're not asking to change the character of this land, we're asking for permission to share it. And then, as a final thought, if you have an opportunity to support a place that preserves agricultural land, teaches stewardship, brings visitors and economic activity into Ada County, as well as gives places for people to gather, connect, and celebrate life's most meaningful moments. That's our goal. And to do it alongside you guys and have a really beautiful place that people can come visit in Boise.
Thank you very much. Any questions for the applicant? Commissioner Rowley? We'll get back to you.
Yeah, Mr. Warnke, regarding the type of events that you would host, can you describe those? Are we just talking weddings and/or receptions, or what if someone wants to do something else? They want to have a family reunion there or something?
We often, the events that have been seen on our property, we have a large community. We throw barbecues, we like to dance in the evening, we temper our music. Well, why not share that with the community to have the ability to have a family barbecue or a family reunion or, those sorts of things. I believe the ability to get people in nature and get together is fulfilling our mission. And when people can authentically gather, that's when we move forward. And if I'm the one that makes that possible, or you are, then we're all making a difference in our community. So honestly, I don't think we know all the past. I think there are farm-to-table dinners where people learn how to support local agriculture. I think there are kids groups, hummingbird camps. And the reason we selected the hours we selected is that's when the highway's dead. It's not busy in the evening when wedding guests are pulling out. It's not busy in the middle of the day. It's morning traffic going up and then the evening traffic. It's when we enjoy it because it quiets down. We live right on the highway. I'm the world's leading authority of my driveway. We've never had a close call. It's 3 lanes wide right there. And I answered your question quite long and went on another direction. I apologize.
No, that's okay. Thank you.
Okay, yes.
Any other questions?
Commissioner Murphy. How you doing, Mark?
Good.
Just a couple questions that are at the top of my mind. Was wondering what your answer was between the discrepancy of patrons or guests at 150 on your application versus your website. I think that was one of the things that one of your neighbors brought up.
Yeah, and valid in bringing that up. The answer is, Tricia and I have a lady named Gia who works for us. She's been helping us. We're overwhelmed and cat on a screen hanging on every day to support the ranch. We really are. I'm not a rich guy who owns a ranch. I'm a guy who swung for the fence to buy one. And I lived in my valley. This is my dream property. And so we told Gia, just put some stuff out there last summer. Let's see how people respond. We don't know really where our constraints are. Most of the pictures in there are from Tricia and I's wedding. And so I can see how those would be misinterpreted because we had just thrown it out and then forgotten about it. These are little off websites that you post your wedding on and people stumble across it. And so we did a poor job of managing that early. And then as we got more sophisticated, all of a sudden somebody went, hey, you better look at that website. And then so we made the changes appropriately.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, can I have a follow-up?
Yes, you can.
Mark, and then a follow-up. I noticed on, and this could be the same answer, but you mentioned that you have fire pit for after event type things.
Same, yeah.
And I know I've been to fire pits before. Would the end time for any of that would also be 10?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. So we don't allow any of that. We're very clear with our brides and our grooms what's allowed and what's not allowed. Now that we know the rules, it's my nature to follow those. And so, plus we're not even slightly interested in jeopardizing our work in kindness, love, and gratitude. This is what this is about. I wish there were more money in weddings, but there's not a ton. So I think.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any other questions? Commissioner Birch.
Mr. Warnke, just a few questions that I have. The information that was submitted suggested that there would be no food prepared on the property. That
By
people
us.
would bring it. By you.
Yes.
But somebody else could prepare it.
The wedding guests can procure a caterer's permit, and they can come and have like an outdoor. They have these mobile units that are super nice, and we've built gravel pads for them to operate on. So things like mobile bar service or a mobile food service, those are very common in the wedding space, especially in these outdoor event centers, and they're self-contained.
And that leads to the next question, because you just mentioned the bar. So alcohol could be brought on the property.
Correct. Yeah, correct.
What about amplification, music? and
We
whatnot?
limit that. We limit that. So
Prohibit it, or you'd limit it?
no, we limit it to the volume level. Yeah. And our closest neighbor, that's good. I'm sorry.
No,
Oh,
please.
our closest neighbor, Bob and Carol, are the greatest. They're the greatest. And so we got their blessing on, okay, what's it like now? What's it like now? That kind of thing, and making sure that our closest neighbor had the impact that felt to them reasonable. They're our closest by far. And then we based our decibel level on that we don't let any of the music be louder than that. It's a quiet place, but we're surrounded by trees, so it does a good job of holding it in.
Can I follow
Commissioner
up?
Birch, go right ahead.
There were many email comments that came in support of the operation that you have there. Those were extremely complimentary and favorable, talking about what a great operation you have, what a wonderful experience it was for the people there. Some of those were, one was from Arizona, one was from Virginia, another one was from Oregon. How did the people get notification of what's going on here to submit these to us?
So luckily, again, we have put a lot of love out into the world, and I do it through my YouTube channel and my Facebook and my Instagram. I have 1 million followers. So that's why so many people from all over the country, we're the largest pack goat breeding facility in the world. People come from all over the United States, stay for a couple days, learn about goats from me, pick up their babies, go home. So we're always having people come on. And Patrick is an owner of a $28 billion company, and he's one of my hunting clients. And he brought his daughter just to stay in the Airbnb, and he's a beautiful man.
So they were notified that this hearing was going to take place, and were they requested to submit anything to us?
Yeah, well, I said, hey, we have a meeting that's going on. We need support from people who know what's actually happening. We need people who've been here to share with the commissioners what Ripple Ranch is like. I'm a nervous fit up here right now. I love to have the community help to speak for me as well, because it's not just me saying we're awesome. And so, yes, I specifically requested in a post, if you've stayed at Ripple Ranch or you've been a part of anything there and you feel compelled, I would love for you to write a letter for what is meaningful for you. And yes.
Thank you. And I didn't mean to imply that that was improper in any means. But like I
Sure.
said, the people that did respond were extremely favorable and spoke very highly of what you're doing there. I don't have any further questions.
Any other questions? I just have one. You mentioned trying to work things out with your neighbors. What specifics can you do to soothe some of the concerns that the neighbors have?
I always hold myself with kindness with the neighbors. There's nobody who will tell you differently. I'm thoughtful. I answer back. I have a duty to my land as well, to not be bullied. But I also have the duty to continue to extend to my mission, which is being kind, being loving, and being grateful. They're contagious. And the more people that I do that with, including people who may not, that I struggle to have a relationship with, the better that chance has. So I would always gladly greet and meet and never would deny that. I just am a man who wants to work it out as opposed to have somebody who's discontent with us.
So you have an open line of communication with your neighbors?
I do. Yeah, at least as far as by text.
Okay.
Yeah.
Commissioner Murphy?
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Mark, how many neighbors, and I realize you're kind of in a rural area, but how many neighbors would you say you had? I see the one two to the west there, and then I know there's one north of Highway 21, a little bit east of you. How many others do you have?
Well, just Bob and Carol just up the highway from us, uphill. They're the closest. Everybody, I don't know the actual mileage, but I would guess the next closest line of sight is up over the hill and behind. Do you have a picture of the land so I can kind of, or are you looking at the picture of the land?
I'm looking at a picture.
Yeah, straight across the highway from us, there's actually a mountain barrier between us and that house. There's no line of sight. The one that's down below is the one that's quite a bit further, and I'm guessing almost a quarter mile. Doug, do you know how far?
I'm not going to guess, but
Yeah, I'm
it's super
sorry.
close.
I don't know. It's quite a ways. It would be hard to hear or see what's happening, from the house.
But as far as neighbors within, say, 1,000 foot of you, you'd have 3, I guess. Is that right?
Well, yes, because there's the man who lives across the highway as well that has the 10 acres. I put out his fire on his land last year when it was burning. We're neighborly with them. And honestly, his contentions were reasonable. I understand how he feels in a heartfelt way about that land. He was the most reasonable of the contentions. But at the same time, I think we're going to handle things in a very classy way that won't affect him negatively.
Thank you.
Any other questions? With that, we'll let you go, and we'll be calling you back up after we hear from the public, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioners. Appreciate
Commissioner
it.
Scott, did you have any questions?
No, I'm going to wait for public and such before I have my questions, see if I get them answered.
All right, thank you very much. I thought you were going to say something. Go ahead, Commissioner Birch.
Yeah, Chairman Wickstrom. For the record, when the members of the public come up and speak, I would like for them to state if they are within a half a mile of the subject property here. And so if they're not, they don't need to say. If they are within half a mile of it, then I would like for them to say that. If they don't say, we'll presume they're further away than a half a mile.
Thank you. We have one person online. We'll go ahead and handle them. I have a Jeffrey Swanstrom.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Certainly do. Mr. Swanstrom, you've got 3 minutes. We hear you perfectly. Go ahead. State your name, sorry, state your name and address. My apology.
Sure. My name's Jeff Swanstrom. My address is 1699 Bull Boulevard, Prineville, Oregon. And I was raised and lived most of my life in the Boise Valley area. I am within 1/2 mile. I own 10 acres directly across the road from the proposed event center. And so I consider myself an adjacent landowner. My family has owned this property for over 50 years. My parents were married and worked along the Boise River near Spring Shores before Lucky Peak Reservoir was built. I lived and worked in Highland Valley during high school and college, at the White Ranch before it was sold to Idaho Fish and Game, and was incorporated into the Boise River Wildlife Management Area. I oppose the conditional use permit by Kimberlite Ripple Ranch. Our family has kept this property undeveloped to protect wildlife, deer, elk, and the many bird species that utilize the riparian area along Wilhite Creek, which runs through our property. The Ada County Comprehensive Plan purports to ensure zoning on rural preservation designated lands is to protect and enhance wildlife and open space, as well as protecting lands around and adjacent to the Boise River wildlife management areas. I would note that the surrounding public lands in this area are both Idaho Fish and Game and Bureau of Land Management. So the commercial enterprise, as I see it, will negatively affect our property and the wildlife it supports by increasing noise, traffic, and human disturbance already under stress from a growing Ada County population. Reasons that residents seek to live in Highland Valley are the historic values that are inherent here. I have witnessed the steady decline in these rural values as multiple home sites have expanded, as well as air traffic from the local helibase, construction of a cell tower on nearby properties. I feel enough is enough. If the county is set on approving increased commercial activity in an area designated as rural preservation, what good is a comprehensive plan that limits growth in this rural area? I respect Mark and Trish's neighbors who moved here to enjoy the peaceful setting and are now essentially destroying what they and other locals here in the valley came to enjoy. Kimberlite Ranch, illegal activities such as unpermitted structures and unpermitted Airbnb and the associated noise, traffic, and safety issues will continue to degrade the Highland Valley and the rural preservation zoning it was supposed to protect. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Mr. Swanstrom?
Commissioner, or Chairman, I have a question.
Mr. Swanstrom, you're available for a question?
Sure.
Go ahead, Commissioner
So,
Murphy. Oh, the Commissioner Scott. Sorry, Commissioner Scott. I was looking at you.
oh yeah, so, and I'm not sure if he can hear me direct because I'm remote right now, but, so if someone could relay it, that'd be great. If not, I can hear just fine. Thanks. Perfect. Thank you. So, does anyone currently live on your land? Do you or anyone else currently live on the land, that 10 acres?
No, we do not. We have grandfathered rights to construct a home there
and may do so in the future. And this is one of the major reasons that I would disagree with the proposal.
Okay, thank you. That's the only question I had.
Thank you, Commissioner Scott. Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Swanstrom. I have a list of people who have signed up. I'm going to start from the back. I've got 2 names on the back, and just so I don't forget you, I'm going to start with you. Colby Richardson, and you'll be followed by Marie Richardson. When you come forward, if you would state your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes to make your presentation. If we get down the road here, we've got quite a few names on, well, about 18, 19 names. If you don't care to talk, if you want, I'll try again here. If what you want to say has already been said several times, you could say I oppose or I am approve, that or in favor of. That would help. I don't want to inhibit anybody from coming forward. So we have Colby Richardson. And Marie, is he going to speak for both of you?
I will
Very good.
speak for both of us.
Thank you. Name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
My name is Kobe Richardson, and I'm at 12570 East Highway 21. It is 0.6 of a mile from their property, but keep in mind it is a valley, mountainous terrain. So I am here to encourage the commission to deny this application due to concerns regarding traffic, public safety, wildlife impacts, and compatibility with the rural character of this area. While I respect private property rights, I believe this proposal introduces a level of commercial activity that is not appropriate for this location. First, I would like to raise concerns regarding increased traffic that a wedding venue would bring to this area. Highway 21 already experiences heavy weekend traffic congestion during spring, summer, and early fall due to recreation traffic to Lucky Peak, Arrow Rock, and surrounding areas. This traffic includes heavy trailers, motorcycles, log trucks, cyclists, and pedestrians. Conditions are further impacted by drivers regularly exceeding the 55-mile-per-hour speed limit and vehicles parked along the shoulder for trailhead access. The proposed venue would add concentrated event traffic during the same peak travel periods, particularly Friday afternoon through Sunday evenings when Highway 21 is already overcrowded. The combination of high speeds, congestion, and additional event traffic raises legitimate public safety concerns. There is also concern about increased wildfire There is also concern about increased wildfire risk associated with hosting large wedding events in an area during the hottest and driest months of the year, as concentrated human activity and vehicle traffic increase the potential for human-caused fires. The property's close vicinity to wildlife habitat and winter range are also concerning. With a proposed operating season of May through October, venue operations may overlap with wildlife migration, which can start in early fall and extend into late spring. Resident deer, elk, and pronghorn also remain in the area year-round. And elk are regularly observed on the south side of Highway 21, often in the immediate vicinity of the proposed venue. This area is also already under increased environmental pressure due to recent wildfires and growing recreational use. A wedding venue would add additional traffic, nighttime activity, amplified sound, lighting, and concentrated human presence to an already stressed wildlife corridor. These factors may also increase the risk of wildlife vehicle collisions along this section of Highway 21. Lastly, approval of a commercial wedding venue in this location would set a precedent for further commercialization within this area. While the applicant has emphasized environmental stewardship and respect for surrounding wildlife, the operational impacts of this proposal directly contradict those stated values. Additionally, there are concerns regarding enforceability of a capacity of 150 guests and operating hours of 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. Wedding events commonly extend beyond scheduled hours due to early vendor setup, guest arrival, lingering post-event activities, and extended breakdown. This applicant has already contradicted the stated limit of approximately 150 guests by previously advertising a capacity of over 200, raising concerns about consistency with the stated limits moving forward, should the application be approved. For these reasons, I respectfully ask the commission to deny this application.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Commissioner Birch.
I don't have a specific question, and I would say this for both anybody opposed or anybody in favor of this project, to be on the record if somebody has someone else speaking for them, then that person might be well advised to just stand up and say, I agree, or I oppose, I'm in favor, and give their name and address as well, so that they're part of this public record.
Mr. Commissioner, can I add that my grandparents, Jerry Whitehead and Shannon Whitehead, also oppose this permit?
But if they're not here,
I know, I was saying,
so,
Where do they live?
12-5, so our address is technically 1257, or 12560. Theirs is 12570, but our address, it's wrong on Google Maps. So we share the same property and same entrance.
Okay. Well, I think what we'll do, if Marie could just stand up and just from where you are is fine. Well, actually, we'll take care of him first and then settle that. Do we have any other questions for the? All right, so there have been events there already with the goat packing and things like that. Have you seen any effect on the area because of what has been going on up to this point?
I have not seen anything. I do hear commotion up the valley. I am right at the top of the hill of the highway. I do hear commotion, usually tractors and stuff. Can I confidently say that it is coming from the property in question? No, but I can say that sound does travel and amplifies throughout that valley. So it was on that side of the highway. It was either them or the neighbors just west of them, but they're in close proximity. So I heard them actually a couple months ago. Somebody was out calling for a dog or something.
But those would be normal activities.
Yes,
tractors,
but
things you
to
normally
prove
see.
the point that the sound is amplified.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any other questions, Commissioner Murphy?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Richards, just a couple questions. So I asked Mark about the discrepancy between the 150 people and the 200 that was on his website. He gave the comment that that website was just thrown up and they were kind of still figuring out what they were doing. Have you personally witnessed events with, I know it's tough to kind of gauge how many people, but large events that have been happen there that have 150 to 200 people? Have you seen any event that size?
I personally have not seen an event of that size. I do know that they are running multiple businesses out of that property. I don't know what all the events are for, but I do know that they have posted that on multiple websites saying different capacities. I have seen that they were quick to change that number prior to this meeting. I'm focused more on the fact that would that be even enforceable? So they can stand in front of you today and say, yeah, well, we're only going to have 150 guests, which is already a lot of people in my opinion for that highway. But who's going to be checking on them to make sure it stays at that and they're not regularly exceeding closer to 200 or 250 people? Weddings are a very expensive event. I just got married just over a year ago. They do bring in a lot of money. They bring in a lot of people. They bring in a lot of noise.
Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
And then one other thought. Obviously, traffic, and I've been up that way, and I realize it gets busy during certain times of the day, and especially during the weekends. Does what the Idaho Transportation Department and ACHD propose as far as the approach width being larger and having a right turn lane mandatory, do you think that would help that situation at all, or?
I mean, yeah, I would say it would most likely help. Would it be is it going to be adequate for an event? I personally don't think so, especially with weddings. Yeah, you might have some people trickle out early, but you also have people trickling in early.
Right.
But typically, especially if they're talking about the tight-knit community that they have, you would suspect that everybody would be leaving at a relatively similar time. There just recently, within the last week and a half or so, was a major accident right in front of that property. And that's without a wedding venue there. So there's been motorcycle deaths within this year already on that highway. It is a very dangerous highway, in my opinion.
Okay, and then one last question, if I may,
ahead.
Mr. Chairman. And then another chair, Mark mentioned that his, I think he said his adjacent neighbor, they did a little sound test thing. Has he approached you to do an
I have not.
equivalent sound test?
Myself, my grandparents, my wife, none of us have ever spoken a word with him, actually. I will be the first to admit that goes both ways. I could easily reach out to him. It sounds like I can text him, but he has not put any effort towards contacting us.
Okay, I was just wondering your concerns also. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you for your time.
thank you.
Maria, if you'd like to just stand up and give your address. Mr. Beck, we had a list. Well, I guess she's on here. All you have to do is say in favor, in favor or opposed.
I'm opposed.
Good enough. I have your address already.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you very much. Okay, Tricia Richter. Tricia, oh, there you go.
Hi, Commissioners. My name is Tricia Richter, and I am Mark Warnke's wife, and I just wanted to come up and speak on our behalf. I wanted to read from this because I'm nervous. My husband and I own and operate a property here on Highway 21, and we are actively stewarding the land. I can tell you that. It's an amazing thing to see all of the wildlife that has been enhanced through our property. It's beautiful. I wish we had a movie for you. And so when people say that it's impacting it in a negative way, it's kind of hard to hear when we see that. And we see regular migration of the deer and elk, and they are coming and going. They don't change their pattern because of us. The type of use that we're asking for allows properties like ours to remain economically sustainable and staying intact rather than being subdivided or developed. Of course, that's obviously not going to be something we would see soon in this valley. We also believe that this is a needed asset in our county. There are limited options for small rural weddings, and many families are currently forced to look outside the area. Our goal is to provide a beautiful, well-managed, and permitted space that supports local families and vendors while keeping events appropriately scaled for a rural setting. We understand the importance of being good neighbors, and we've designed our plan with that in mind. And we are proposing clear limits. This is our home. This is our land. We're not interested in having late-night parties. We're interested in providing a beautiful experience. If couples want to go and have a late-night party, they're welcome to go do that somewhere else. And we've defined those things as well as thoughtful planning around parking and traffic flow and noise, and we'll be present and responsible for all of the events. We've also received strong support from our members of our community, including our neighbors and locals who have submitted many letters on our behalf, and we're grateful for that support, and we take it very seriously. And at the end of the day, our goal is to just create something that enhances the community and respects the land and operates responsibly within the zoning, and we really appreciate your consideration for this.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Thank you so much. I have Ryan Markham and
Yeah,
Paul.
I'm going to defer to my dad, Dirk Markham.
Okay,
So
Dirk.
I get his time too, is what he's trying to do, is defer his time to me.
We're giving you 3 minutes, and so,
You'll get it, 3 minutes, you're good.
No, I can't. So I'll have to, that's not, he can defer his time to me, can he?
not tonight, no. He'll have 3 minutes, you get 3 minutes. You guys can piggyback that way if you'd like. Please state your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Commissioners, Dirk Markham, 14364 East Highway 21. My property is all adjacent to him. The family's been 5 generations there. Everybody loved the property, lives there. 3 generations live there right now. I love the property. I plan on dying there, and I don't want this turned into this event. Right next door, I own a lot, and the property borders that I planned on a grandson living at. We have shared access there. I'll go over that in a second. I'm going to start reading this. I will start with all of the unpermitted and breaking law activities going on for the last few years. On site, up to 4 trailers, 2 with permanent covers and porches. I have photos and cars and people living there in the summer and the winter. Number 2, operating a bed and breakfast. This is not permitted in Ada County and against the law. Number 3, having weddings, no conditional use to permit, not following the law. Number 4, rehearsal dinners, no conditional use permit, not following the law. Number 5, center up 100 guests, building is not permitted, conditional use. Event center, that's for 100 guests, so it's against the law. Event center, 25 guests, stay overnight, not permitted. Built 20 foot into the highway setback. No conditional use, no permit, it's against the law. Farm to table dinners, 25 people, not permitted, against the law. Horsemanship lessons, not permitted, against the law. Excavating in the creek of no water rights, against the law. Mark Warnke will not let me on his property inspect my water rights that are predated to his. This is against state law, and I've had to get the water board out on him the last 3 years in a row. They have been having these events and uses for the last few years illegally against the law. I am seeking denial of this application because of the last several years of no permits and breaking the law. I can't understand how you reward breaking the rules and the laws the last few years with approval. Traffic. I have photos of a blind corner approaching the driveway to the barn. This is no visibility at 300 feet. The state police park there and give tickets because you can't see them until they are passing the driveway. For a commercial business, high speed, 55 miles an hour going down the hill, the travel at 60 to 65 downhill. At a 55 mile per hour road, they are required to have a 500-foot turn lane, also clear visibility. This would be no berm on a blind corner. It is actually a blind corner. My access, oh, that's, okay, here, Ryan, you come here and read the rest.
Could we ask Mr. Markram?
Oh,
He has to be
ask
called up
questions?
first.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Any questions?
Yes.
Commissioner Burchett?
Mr. Markram, are these pictures, are these yours that were submitted?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Holtham, these are being admitted to the record as exhibits to Mr. Markram's testimony, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. And I will note that on these pictures, there's Post-it notes as well. And so Commissioner Scott does not have the benefit of seeing the Post-it notes that are on the pictures.
There is some of them in the file.
Oh, the Post-it
On there.
notes?
There is some
Okay.
of them with Post-it notes. I can't say that every single one of these is in the file, but there are.
Oh, there you go. I stand corrected. Thank you.
Thank you.
So one thing is very important is my access to my lot and my property has been there for 50 years.
I'm sorry, was there a question asked?
Yeah, so
Of-
you've had your time now. Any other questions that we have here?
So about the access is very important. I think it's just one of the critical factors is that it was mine for 50 years. They were going to build a single-family home next door. I permitted her to use the same access. Now with the commercial access there, it shouldn't be allowed because I shouldn't have to have, it would be dangerous, it wouldn't be safe to have 100 guests coming in my access.
Yeah, we need to, you've had your time.
Or is this a testimony?
We need to, yeah, it is. So if someone would like to pick it up from where you've left off, we give him 3 minutes.
So Ryan.
I'm good. I'm good. We're good here.
And
No,
here.
we're good.
State your name and address, please.
Ryan Markham, 14040 East Highway 21.
Thank you.
And I'm adjacent and connecting with the property, basically. So the only thing I'm just going to kind of reiterate here is at the very top of the hill, you have Hilltop Cafe, which just got Chevron gas pumps put in. So there's a full-blown gas station there, which created more traffic up there. And Hilltop also holds events and weddings and that nature. And then you go barely down the hill, and a great writer for the Statesman started that Hike the Mine thing, which at any point during the weekend, there's 50 cars parked along the side of the highway. So they can go hike through the fishing game up to the mine. And that's where the accident the previous fellow was talking about happened. And we've had multiple accidents in front of our house and our property and our field from people attending those events. And then you got everybody going to Lucky Peak Lake, everybody going recreating up in the hills. And when he tried to say, the applicant tried to say that there's no traffic on that highway between 3 o'clock and 10 o'clock is one of the craziest things I've ever heard. Because that's when everybody's going out of town, everybody's going to the hills, everybody's going to the lake, and everybody's coming home. So the traffic volume is incredible. And the access to that property is on a blind corner. And there's been plenty of accidents in that stretch. And we're going to have people at weddings with an uncontrolled amount of people there, drinking, partying. I mean, if we can guarantee these are going to be sober weddings, then, that'll be incredible. So no turn lane, no traffic control, no anything's going to fix that. And I've got 2 15-year-old kids that once a month almost get smoked trying to turn into our driveway from drivers on that highway. So I don't think these people that have never been out there before, going to a wedding, not paying attention, it's not going to work. We don't need events out there. There's enough events at the lake, Sandy Point on the way up, Discovery Park, Arrow Rock, recreating. We don't need to add another dimension that's not adding any quality to our life on that highway.
Thank you. Any questions? Commissioner Murphy.
Mr. Markham, just a quick question. Do you live adjacent to, I guess, the west of Mark's property, or where do you?
So I'm on the opposite side of the highway, so I'm probably,
You're on the opposite side to the east, is that right?
So the property right next to him's in my name. There's no house on that. That's the lot that my dad was talking about for future use. And then my dad owns the entire property all the way down from him, all the way down to the Forest Service area down there. And then I'm on the other side with my dad. So we touch him everywhere.
Okay.
On 3 different properties.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Just a quick one. So there was a possible addition of a right turn lane analysis that was going to be done. Is that anything that would help alleviate some of the problems that might help?
Just adds one more lane to cause problems. So then you're going to have people turning, passing, and then when they leave their property and people are going back into town, there's a whole nother lane to go through. So then it just, I don't know. I don't think it works, but
All right.
I've lived out there for 40 years, and I know how that highway works.
Great. Thank you very much for your comments.
Yep, thank you.
Next, we have Robert Allen, followed by Gail Allen. Please state your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes.
My name is Robert Allen. I live at 24 Hidden Ridge Lane. That's on up Highway 21, a little bit further from their place. I do not have property that adjoins his property. I am a ways away, but I have lived in the area since 1977. And I've lived in Idaho all my life. So I'm real familiar with the highway when it was first opened. I was pretty small. I traveled on the highway then. The traffic on this highway is unbelievable for what I've historically seen. It's just crazy out there right now. I've never seen it like this only on Memorial Day, Labor Day, and opening the day of hunting season. It's that way every day now. The location that they have is one of the most dangerous areas of the Highway 21 that right now that I've seen with in conjunction with the WMA being there, and they line both sides of the highway with parked cars, kids getting out of the cars, dogs running across this, and I'm talking 20 to 50 cars every weekend. It's absolutely insane. Somebody's going to get killed on that section, either kids or something, and the state needs to step up and put no parking, flag out all the way to Hilltop, both sides of the road, all the way to the bottom of the hill. There's no place for cars to park. It's a shoulder. There's no pullover parking, but they do. They park there, and it makes it one of the most dangerous places along Highway 21. This particular driveway comes out on a blind corner. When you're coming down the highway, it doesn't look like it's a blind corner. I pulled into the driveway. You can't see up the hill. It's a single lane coming down the hill. Seems like every vehicle, even though it's 55, I'd say 90 to 97% of the vehicles exceed that in the first half mile after they come over Hilltop. They exceed the speed limit. It's just the way it is. And coming up the hill, they try to do 100. Pass everything they can pass going up the hill. To me, the state has, the only option would be a turn lane. That would get the people over and out of the traffic. It'd still allow people to go on by them, but they'd have to have a pretty extensive turn lane to get off the road. Right now, the access coming up out of that driveway, it's blind. They have a big berm. You can't see up the road, and it's a single lane coming down, 2 lanes going up the hill, and usually there's 2 cars fighting for on the opposite side of the street. They have to turn to get into that and have to cross blindly. But there's quite a few other things. But the safety, main concern is the safety factor in that particular area has to be dealt with either with signage or some serious highway work, move the berm, get some visibility that they can see.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Thank you for your comments. Gail Allen?
My name is Gail Allen, and I live at 24 Hidden Ridge Lane, and I thoroughly oppose this action.
Thank you. Jared Smith? Gerard? State your name and address. And
Jared Smith, 1832 North Crestmont Drive, and I'm Meridian. I'm over a half mile away. I've worked on the property up there for about 5 or 6 years, doing improvements. I actually watch all the game constantly. I've seen deer, elk, antelope, all 3 on that back hill towards the reservoir at the same time. I've had my helpers up there with me, trying to clean up brush, trying to make things nice up there, clean out creek beds, do things of that nature. And I'm missing where a blind spot is up there. I go in and out of that driveway quite frequently. I can see way up the hill. I can pull a trailer out of there. Never had a close call, things of that nature. But what it does for the community is it's a microclimate right there. And, with the spiritual aspect of it and the community kindness and everything, that place does so much for so many people. I bring my grandkids up there, for goat birthing. They're getting educations. They're getting educations like the farm to table type food when people get together and discuss that. I have 25 plus people come to my house for a barbecue. I don't have to have a permit. They're my family and friends, just my eyes. But what it does for the community is there's a lot of educational things that could go on there for younger kids, the appreciation of land, the appreciation of the farm, the animals, just the kindness that it brings in the community. And I would recommend that anybody go up there and just walk the property, go through it and see what kind of difference it makes just to go through it. And me personally, I believe it's one of the most beautiful places that I've ever been. And yeah, there's a lot of people that would like to get married and things like that. And, you know, I think some of the buildings there, because I have done a lot of maintenance, I don't think are out of line. I'm a licensed contractor. I've been for over 8 years in the state of Idaho. Little buildings, little horse tack buildings that are 80 square feet, that's not a permitted thing. You know, it never has been, you know, things of that nature. And I think that's what some of these buildings may be being called, which to me is completely inaccurate. Because I can put one in my backyard in Meridian. I don't need a permit, you know, for things of that nature. But the good that it does the community and how many people volunteer there, how many people are trying to teach their kids, things of that nature, it's bigger than we are. It's bigger than the people.
Great. Thank you very much. Any questions? Thank you very much for your comments. Char Carpenter? Last name Carpenter? No. Carla Arnold?
It's been covered. The only thing that I would add,
No, if you want to, it's either if you want to make comments for the record, you need to come forward. Otherwise, just state either you're opposed or in favor.
I'm in favor.
Thank you very much.
Oh, we already have her address.
Yeah, she's on my list. And you were Carla Arnold, right? Correct? Sorry? Oh, okay. And you're Carla. All right.
What I was going to say has already been covered a couple of times, and I am in favor.
Thank you very much. Jesse Chapman?
I'm in favor.
Thank you very much. Is it Jean or Jesse?
Jesse.
Okay, thank you. James Duxbury?
Yep. James Duxbury. I am 5830 Kuna, Idaho. And most of what has been said in favor of this, I am fully behind. One thing I wanted to mention was just clarification that my understanding is this is an outdoor venue. So in my view, that is tables, chairs, and smiling, happy people who all love each other. So I'm in favor of it.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Last name is Anderson. Christian Anderson?
I agree, and I approve.
Thank you very much.
In favor.
In favor. Joseph McCall. Joseph J. McCall? Okay. Carol Hackwell. Followed by Bob Hackwell. When she finish? State your name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
Carol Hackwell, and I'm at 12995 East Highway 21. We share a fence with Tricia and Mark. We are closest to the venue. Any events they've had does not bother us. I've had the opportunity to take my nephews over there to get educated on the goats. They get to interact with the goats. They love it. We just are now fostering them. And I had the opportunity to take my best friend and her grandchildren, who are 5 and 4, over there. And every year they ask if they can go over to the neighbors and see these goats, because they absolutely love the opportunity to do this. It is a beautiful place. We, in reference to this car accident, it had nothing to do with their property. It was a gal turning left into the Fish and Game. The car behind it didn't see her turning and hit her. My husband put her car fire out. We heard it. We ran up there and he took care of that. We have saved several people on that road that have broken down, meaning a guy broke his axle on his boat. We had him tow it to our property, leave it there so he could come and get it. This has nothing to do with their property. It has everything to do, yes, there's traffic, but it has nothing to do with them. There's just traffic. There's traffic everywhere in this valley. So I don't think their vents, they have not had over 150 cars or 150 people there. I can vouch to that. I live right next door. My garden is right there. So I hear the music. It doesn't bother me. I like music. So that's that.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Commissioner Colson.
Hey, so how many events do you think they've had in the last year?
I couldn't tell you. I mind my own business.
Obviously, they haven't bothered you.
No.
All right, thanks.
Thank you very much. And just for the record, though, that nobody's ever said that the accidents were because of the applicant's property. They were things that happened. And there's no connection between them. Let's see, Bob Hackwell.
We do live in the property adjacent to Mark and Trish.
State your name and address.
Bob Hackwell, 12995 Highway 21. And I wanted to get along with all my neighbors. You know, we all work together close. We actually started our own fire brigade up there. I bought a brush truck. Mark has a brush truck because we want to be able to save ourselves if possible. But we've had no problem with them. We have the elk and deer in our yard almost every day, a little all nature. Their music, it doesn't bother us. Our bedroom's on that side of the house, and they shut things down. I mean, they care about what their neighbors think. I do know Dirk, I know Ryan, I know Whitehead's up the street, and like I say, I just want to be neighbors with all of them. They're all good people. They're all opposing and for. I have no opposition to it whatsoever. I've had nothing but good interaction with them. We share vegetables across the fence, what have you. I'd like to do that with all my neighbors too. That's really all I've got. They've just been great to work with.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any questions? Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Dan Potter. Name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
Yeah, Dan Potter, 251 East Tate Court, Grantsville, Utah. Didn't expect to be here coming to something like this. I bought a couple of goats from Mark a few years ago, and that's how I got started. And he has been nothing but helpful and kind, and I can see what he does online and how he's helped people. I'm here working for Micron. I'll be here 6 to 9 months. And I asked him if I could come and help at his place 1 to 2 days a week, that I come up here and just volunteer, not getting paid or anything for it. And because of the people that they are and what they bring and what I see out there, and that's something that I want to be a part of, and I think other people from around the country have kind of stated the same thing. I grew up on 80 acres. I understand having land and property and having it affected. Being at Mark's place and doing work, I'll see from turkeys and quail and birds and crows and all kinds of wildlife. So I don't think a wildlife's a thing. Just like when you go to a park, you'll still see lots of wildlife, even though there's lots of people visiting. With the impact of them having people from certain times, I don't think it's going to scare off or inhibit the wildlife, that being a factor. I'd just like to say that they're good people. If they meet the requirements that you guys are asking, I think that they should be given the chance that anybody else should, and that they are great people to work with, and they will try to do their best to cooperate. That's what I've seen. That's why I've offered my time and getting nothing for it. Happy to be with them. That's my comments.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Thank you. All right. John Hughes. State your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes.
My name's John Hughes. I live at 1 Rush Creek Road. I'm probably about 10 miles up the highway from the Ripple Ranch. I'm a big believer in you should be able to do what you want with your property, that sort of thing. From what I see, it looks like it'd be a great venue. It's just the wrong location. And I live on the highway. Basically, Moores Creek is between me. I'm at Wilderness Ranch. I'm at the entrance to the ranch. I'm the only one that's not up in the hills. And so I see the traffic. And I will take contention in the representation that that's 3 to 10 Friday through Saturday or through Sunday night is light. It is not. The latter part of that time it is, but 3 to say 8 o'clock, even sometimes 9 o'clock, it is very busy. And I have the front row seat because my kitchen, my dining room, my family room, and my great room all look out. All I get is the creek and then the highway. So I have it's you know, that idea that it's not busy then, ludicrous. Later part of it, yes. I think that the issue I have, I don't have any problem with what they have planned and that sort of thing. I'm not impacted by it, but I am impacted by what happens on the highway. Just as I'm on Moores Creek and the people below me are impacted by anything that I would do. Here, what ends up happening, and I think Commissioner Murphy had indicated you live out that way. You got to understand, this is a rather significant downhill that they live on. So you hit Hilltop, and then from Hilltop, it goes down. The speed is 55. There is no way you can go 55 on there. For one thing, you're riding your brakes, but also you're having people riding your behind. Unfortunately, the highway patrol or whatever they call it there don't really help you. They want to go in and tell you that if you've got people behind you, you need to pull over. There's no place to pull over. I think from what I understand is they're going to build a right-hand turn lane. That is absolutely imperative, and it needs to be rather lengthy because you've got people going 65 to 70 down there routinely, and all of a sudden now they're going to go and stop for these guys to be able to make a 90-degree turn. I have questions. I guess it sounds like they can only make a right-hand turn when they exit. I have no idea where they're going to go and turn around because they've stated that the people are coming up from the valley. Well, there's not opportunities to turn any place. There's private property, and unless they're going, I think, down to the way station, and then they're going across the highway, there's really not a spot for any turnaround for those people. So that'd be my question. But again, the people seem very nice. I've been at the property one time. They were wonderful. Got some goat milk, but I just think it's a good idea, wrong location.
Thank you very much. Any questions? You're good. Thank you for coming down. Shane Kipper. Name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Shane Kipper, 729 North Quarter Moon Avenue, Kuna, Idaho. All right, so I've known Mark and Tricia for over 2.5 years, over 5 years, helping them build fence, developing some of the land out there, and doing some of the fire mitigation when they've had some issues with, in the past couple of years. And over that time, I've really gotten to know them. I've gotten to see and witness the amount of time, energy, and effort that they put into the land itself, from the developments to making sure it's beautiful and accessible and safe for people to enjoy themselves while they're out there. So professionally, I develop community. Ripple Ranch was the reason for the community that I built, and we have a group of over almost 2,000 people now because of it, and this was 3 years ago. And without his influence, without the impact of the space that they provide for the intention and energy that they want to share with the community, none of that would have been possible. I work with somatics, nervous system, and it's been tremendously powerful for our local community to provide these kind of services, and especially to have a sanctuary, a place where people can come and get away from the noise of the world, to get relieve the static. There's not a lot of places around here like that. So You know, the educational benefit of this space is expansive. There's many different ways that this land can provide opportunity for all walks of life, all ages. And I feel like it's important for our community to have access to the natural ways of living, being so disconnected from our heritage, so to speak, I guess. Yeah, I'll end it there.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Thank you for your comments. Christopher Lamette?
Hello, my name is Christopher Lamott. I live at 3205 West Plant Drive in Boise. That is over half a mile away. I have been in and out of the property many times, different times a day, different days of the week. And yes, there is traffic up there quite a bit, but I've never had a problem or even a close call. And I just want to say the way they've handled the property, the way they care for the land is really inspiring. They do very good work at taking care of the animals, the goats. They put a lot of care and attention into the work they do. Mark is very knowledgeable, and he's had water experts out there to teach him about how to work with the water naturally in the land and how to, and he's done a lot of work in land restoration, and it's a really, really beautiful space that they've cultivated there. And yeah, I just want to say I fully support what they're doing. And again, like Shane Kipper shared, Shane has cultivated another part of the community. And through that, my own life has personally been strongly affected by the community building that Shane is doing and that Mark is doing. And then I also wanted to, and that's the end of my comments. I also wanted to share that my friend Jess Hamilton didn't know that she needed to sign in, but she also wanted to express
We're gonna open it up to anybody who hasn't been called up yet.
Thank you.
Any questions? If you wouldn't mind disclosing, what's the community that you're talking about that you two have formed? What is the relationship to the ranch?
Yeah, Shane has founded a community called Cosmic Pulse, and he hosts drum circles, usually at like a local park. And so we have the opportunity to get to know one another and Shane was inspired by Mark's work at the ranch. And so we've been able to be up there a couple of times, just small gatherings, and Mark has hosted dinners and things like that.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Any other comments, questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
That's the end of people who have signed in up. Is there anybody who would like to come forward and make some comments? Well, we'll start in the front. Ladies first, come on over and just, or if you just like, I'm sorry, or do you just want to say if opposed or in favor? Just name and address and.
Jocelyn Hamilton, 3188 West Gerard Street, in favor.
And what was your position on it? In favor?
Yeah.
I just didn't want to jump in and.
In favor of approving.
Okay. Did you want them to sign in anything?
Yeah, if we can have you sign in.
I've got a blank one here. Oh, he's got, okay. So there's two, but the gentleman in the black, come on forward. Name and address, and then after you speak, if you could just sign in on the table over there. Thank you.
Nicholas Simkowski, 2109 South Hilton Street in Boise. My family's been up to Mark and Trisha's place quite a few times. I have 3 young children, 10, 6, and 5. We live in the city, so it's a nice place to go and really have an enjoyable time as a family. They get to have the time in learn about the goats, learn about the process of what an animal gets to experience all the way through the milking process. We've had the ability to have family for the holidays and have stayed at his place to have that experience and show what Boise is and Idaho feels like to be in the nature and still be by a city. I believe in the visions that he has for that place. I see the potential of what he can do with weddings. I see the potential in Mark and Tricia and their hospitality and their kindness for their place here. So,
Thank you very much for coming up. Any questions? Anybody else who has not signed up, come forward. Okay, we'll go back to Mr. Holton. For staff, any questions that we have there? None? I have a couple. So to getting the permits for the bed and breakfast, so there's apparently looks like there's a small house that's used plus a bunkhouse that'll up to 25 people. Are those connected together under that permit?
So there was a misunderstanding with the bed and breakfast. So it was told to me that they were operating a bed and breakfast, but it's an Airbnb.
Okay.
And Ada County doesn't regulate Airbnbs.
Okay, that goes for both the bunkhouse and the house. Okay, thank you. I'm just thinking, I thought I had something else here, but no other questions. Commissioner Murphy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. They mentioned that there's unpermitted buildings. Now, there's a house on the property. I guess I'll call it the main house. That main house is permitted. We're just talking about outbuildings, sheep sheds or goat sheds, and barns and these kind of things, right?
Yes, there is a agricultural structure that is a little too close to the property line, and that's going to need addressed through a variance. But yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Mr. Holton, I had a couple questions here. So under this, isn't for an event center a limit already imposed on the number of people that they can have?
Usually it's set by the applicant, I believe. Richard, could you?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, I'm not aware of the code limit on the number of participants.
Just whatever what they feel like the facility
Typically, an
can
applicant will
handle.
come in and make a proposal, and then based on impacts or the size of the property, different characteristics, you could set limits.
Okay. And then lastly, are there any other permits that are required for the different operations that go on there?
They'll need to get a catering permit for caterers coming onto the site, I believe. They'll need to get the variance that I mentioned. They'll have to get a zoning certificate for the stable horse riding use, and I believe that's it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any other questions?
Mr. Chair, I have a quick
Yes.
question for staff.
Commissioner Scott, go ahead. You know, before you go, I've got you on my screen. Just if you, because there's such a delay, just I'll see you raise your hand and I'll be able to call you. Go ahead, go right ahead.
Okay, sounds good. When it comes to traffic, because of the weird nature of this highway, does Idaho Transportation Department and ACHD have input? So we're getting input from both of their expertise on it. Is that correct?
That's correct, but ITD has jurisdiction over this because it's a state highway. We're just required to transmit to ACHD no matter the location in the county. So we reach out to ACHD for comments, but ultimately ITD is in charge of this road.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, with that, we'll, no other questions. We'd invite the applicant to come back up. We'll have, is it 5 minutes?
I'll try to be succinct. I just want to clarify some things. We already do have our public meeting in place for the variance, so we're always on the building, the ag structure that Doug was referring. Also, I'm glad he qualified. We're an Airbnb. We've never served anybody breakfast. That would be the B&B. It was just a misunderstanding in terminology. He didn't, I didn't understand. And then we are also putting signage in Bob and Carol's driveway up above the property. It's a long ways further than 600 feet. And they're letting us put a sign there that says caution, turning traffic ahead, Ripple Ranch event. That'll give both our guests that are arriving a cue to, hey, it's coming up on the right. And we should be getting the approval, probably already did while we were here or tomorrow, for a big sign on the sign of the building. And that's 16 by 4, says Ripple Ranch. It's also before the driveway, giving people plenty of time. The way those that use our driveway is they just put their blinker on early and everybody accommodates. It's again, I have never had a close call. Seeing out of the driveway is actually quite simple, and you don't have to creep up on the shoulder and can't see it. You can see as far as you need to see a qualified look. I am in close communication with Kendra. At the high, is Kendra with C? I'm sorry, I struggle with the acronyms. Is it
Kendra's with the Idaho Transportation.
Okay, IDT. So I'm in close conversation with Kendra. We have a traffic engineer who's already done surveys on traffic last Saturday, and now he'll be doing traffic surveys while we have an event. So we won't have to guess what's happening. We're going to clearly know. And that's a part of their requirements to make sure that we do the proper diligence to see if a turn lane is necessary. Also, I just kind of want to clarify, I'm a lifelong hunter, pay attention to the deer in that area. They usually show up late October, early November. That's when we have the largest animal impact in the area, and with predators as well. Also, Lori with CHD has been on the property, walked the property with me, has no concerns about our use of, or how we're handling the bathrooms and all the concerns with hand washing. So she's already been on the property. I already spoke about the parking signage. And then just to clarify the gentleman's comment earlier, wondering if they can only turn right. They can't. They can turn both left and right out of our driveway. So just to clarify that.
Thank you for that clarification. Any questions to the applicant? Commissioner Murphy, yes. Take a drink.
Thank you, Mark. I believe, was it Mr. Markham said something about an easement to his water rights and inspection, that you wouldn't let him on his property? Can you explain that?
Yeah, so he's sent me a letter that I've had to address with my water rights attorney twice, both with the same answer, saying this is not an irrigation impoundment, it's a live creek. It's actually a seasonal creek, which means it dries up for 2 months a year, so that even creates more variance or more capability. I actually have a recent email communication probably 10 days ago from the water master, who we now have to engage with through him to be able to have him be the arbitrator of saying, this is when you can turn it on, this is when you can turn it off. And I work very closely with him. He's a nice man. I don't have any concerns how I'm using the water or what I'm allowing or not allowing. I'm very clear on it.
Okay. Any other questions? Commissioner Rowley?
Yeah, there was a couple of public comments that referred to this community of people, and then someone asked, what is this community? And it's something, if I understand, did I hear right, something with drums?
Yeah, that's just their group. It's not our group.
That's not something you'll be sponsoring on the property?
No, Shane is just somebody who's been on the property, who's been inspired of our mission. Our mission is to find ways to connect with people, help to change lives, find loving environments to get together with like-mindedness. He's chosen drums, I've chosen ranching. But again, I think it's more about just the modality. Again, love is contagious.
Sure. I just want to make sure we were talking
yeah.
sound travel of
Sure,
drums.
of course, yeah. Thank you.
Any others? Are you sure? Yes. I've got just a couple questions real quick here. So about how long, excuse two of them, how long operation has been going on there, including the goat packing, weddings, different things? How long have you been?
Well, we would have like little people, and again, initially like 7 to 12 people would show up once a summer for a goat packing explanation where I'd go around, show them hands-on how to put a saddle, that sort of thing. We are just big get together with our friends people, and we have hundreds of friends. We have barbecues. It's one of the reasons we started to create that space down there so we could have a place to barbecue and visit and get together, and it's beautiful and all those different things.
Approximately how many weddings have you had there?
Three.
Three.
Well, that includes ours.
Okay. And then asking for 150 people plus the wedding party, is that a number you're hard on? And just because a wedding party can vary greatly depending upon.
No, we shoot more for 150 as in totality. I wasn't clear that that was 150 plus wedding party. Doug, it's 150, right?
I understood it as 150 plus the wedding party.
Okay. Well, what I can tell you is our land can easily handle that. So can our parking, so can our capacity. It would be my goal to have them closer to 150 just because that's what we are. But the largest group I've seen in terms of grooms and groomsmen is like 5 on each side. I don't know if we've had more than that. So that would be an additional 10, I guess, if we tried to push for that. But we certainly could hold to the 150 if that was a concern for you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Thank you very much. Did you want a break? You okay? You would? You good? Okay. All right, with that, we're looking for a motion. I'm sorry, Commissioner Scott, did you have any questions?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. With that, we're looking for a motion to table, deny, or approve this application. Commissioner Birch.
Based upon the findings of fact and conclusions of law contained in the staff report and the testimony from this public hearing, the commission denies project number 202502461-CU-MSP.
I think we have a motion for denial. Is there a second? Seeing no second, we're looking for another motion.
Commissioner Wickstrom,
Commissioner Scott, go right ahead.
my apologies, first of all, to the staff. The little script will not come up on my computer, so I apologize if I butcher this for you guys' efforts. Based on the findings of fact, conclusion of law, and the testimony we've all heard herein, I recommend the commission approve project number 202600273-CC-S-PUD-MSP. I'm reading the wrong one. My bad.
You're reading the wrong one. Number 4.
I am. Number 4. I forgot we switched them. It's 202502461-CU-MSP, Kimberlite Ranch. Yeah, hope that works for you guys. Sorry, I don't have the script on here.
We have a motion for approval. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Rowley, second it. Commissioner Scott, would you like to speak to your motion?
Yeah, so just kind of some of the facts on some of these things. I know we have the purview to ensure that there's the traffic, which is something that is of a concern constantly here, that we make sure that that is covered in our approval. Just kind of looking at the map, running a distance tracker to it. The blind corner that was talked about, that's 3,400 feet away from their property. Even if you're going 10 over 65, that's like 30 to 35 seconds.
Please.
So and this is me looking directly at a map, running a distance tracker on a computer right now. So when you look at the actual distance, it's 3,400 feet per Google Maps from the nearest corner. The other corner, the other direction, is actually further away. I defer to Idaho Transportation Department, ACHD's expertise on the traffic. I think that the requirement for a turnoff is going to be very, very prudent, but I don't think the traffic is going to be as huge of a problem as previously thought. Outside of that, the neighbor next door, right next door, discussing, understand she has a bit of a bit of a anecdotal bias that she loves music and things like that. But if there are problems with things of that nature, she would be the one most grossly impacted by it. some of the other neighbors we've heard from, they don't live there. I know some of them do, but the one across the street from Oregon, he has no one living there. Maybe in the future he will, but so that weighs a bit less in my opinion. But I think just kind of looking at broadly the location, the most impacted, I would have been much more against this if the neighbor next door was vehemently against it. Most of the other neighbors are a significant distance away. Some may be able to hear the music and things, but it being limited to just the weekend does help. I would have not been for this if it was like an everyday event thing. So I'm for this because I do think that it will be a solid venue. I think it's going to be a solid group of people, and they've had quite an outpouring. And I appreciate the clarification on that Airbnb because there are no laws concerning that. In fact, the state of Idaho has come out and said they will not allow counties to put laws on Airbnbs. Those are a right for people to own. And if these people do not use this as a venue, they have every right to continue it as an Airbnb as they see fit within the Idaho law. And just based on that, and based on the fact that, I mean, you look at the content this gentleman creates where they have 1 million followers, it's not unreasonable to think they could have their own individual parties with 100 people out there and be well within their right to do so because it is their home. He has a large following. He has a lot of friends. And so he's trying to be a good steward, I think, here and reach out. But that's why I learned, and then just finally property rights. I'm a big property rights guy. So that is why I'm in favor of that, but willing to hear other discussion.
Commissioner Rowley, would you like to add some comments?
No, not really. I think Chad Scott took a lot of the points that were going through my mind. Probably the main one, though, is, again, property rights. I don't see that the applicant is taking any great leap at this point to what his existing operation already is. He's really just trying to formalize it. So I don't see any further negative impact. I heard enough positive testimony that the existing operation is probably not causing the disruption that one might think. Certainly in terms of noise, the traffic thing is kind of a he said, she said. But I'm convinced that the applicant is in fact a good steward of the property. His intentions and her intentions are positive, and I don't see this creating any further impact. Thank you.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I got some.
Oh, Commissioner Colson, then we'll go Commissioner Birch.
Okay. Here's my thing on it. In regards to the traffic and the concern, the traffic and concern is everywhere. I live out in Kuna. I just came on the way here coming to the commission. 10 Mile Creek was backed up a mile, and it's a crazy road. And, you know, we have to, it's not our job as the commission to tell IDT, Ada County Highway Department, how to do their job, what to do their job. It's their job to be public safety, and exactly what they're doing is going out and doing case studies and finding out truly what the numbers are. And they're held by the state. I mean, they have certain parameters that they have to meet, and we can't override those. We can't. So as far as the road traffic, I get people's concern. I get people's concern throughout the whole valley. And so for me, that's really not a big deal, because we can't change any of that. They'll tell them if they have to put in the road, you know, the turn-in lane, and that could be $200,000, you know, but that is something that IDT has to dictate, and we have to abide by it. As far as me as well, I'm a big property rights guy. I'm also a big guy that loves giving back to the community, loves helping others that can't help themselves. And what I hear here is exactly what he's trying to do. And my hat's off to him. So those are the reasons why I'm for it.
Thank you. Commissioner Birch.
Several things. First of all, there's no question in my mind but what the applicant is not a good operator, a good steward of the land, and that the venue would be a benefit to the community. It is not, however, a nonprofit operation. And when people talk about property rights, and they say, I'm big on property rights, your property rights are limited by the laws in place governing your property, which is why the applicant is before us this evening. The applicant is here because the applicant cannot do by right what they want to do on their property, and because of that, they need our approval. Now, as I think everyone here knows, anything that we decide, if we had decided to deny the project or, as is apparent, to approve the project, can be appealed to the Board of County Commissioners. There are several thoughts I have with regard to why I voted to deny the project, or made the motion to deny the project. First of all, again, property rights does not mean you can do anything you want on your property. This is akin to the recent case that came before us of the shooting range. The people that came out to testify in favor of it did not live there. In this case, we do have one neighbor, the Heckmans, that do live there next to it. But the other people that live there are opposed to it. And they've given reasons why they are in opposition, and why we, as a body that can decide whether or not the property rights can be bent to allow something that is not currently allowed, we need to look at what the provisions of the code are under which we are governed. And what I would suggest, especially to those who are opposed to the project, is to look carefully at sections 8, 6, 15 of the Ada County Code. And I'm going to read two parts of that. In order to be approved, the proposed use shall not be detrimental to the public health, safety, or welfare. So, in this case, you have not just an ordinary surface street, such as in Cuna or Eagle or Star. You've got an extraordinarily busy road that has had a fair number of accidents on it, that is on a very steep hill. And as has been testified, people fly down that road. And the proposed hours of operation are absolutely the worst time for people to be on that road. It's like driving up Highway 55 to McCall and winding around up by the river. It's a very dangerous road just because it's not a divided highway. And people fly down it, and it is a destination for recreation. So, is it detrimental to the public health, safety, or welfare when people are drinking on the property and are then onto a highway that people are traveling to get somewhere else going 65 or 70 miles an hour, and somebody inebriated pulls out? The applicant isn't regulating that. If the applicant was regulating that, and there was an accident causing death because somebody was inebriated, the applicant would likely be involved in a major lawsuit. But the applicant here basically washes their hands of it by saying, we are not responsible for what goes on that property. People can bring whatever they want. People can be drinking vodka, whiskey, whatever they want out there. It doesn't matter because we are not monitoring it. So that's the danger, and that's where people are likely to get killed. Now, The next thing that that code provision provides is the proposed use shall not create undue adverse impacts on surrounding properties. Many times, especially when event centers have been proposed, this body has said, even when the numbers affected were few, it does create an undue adverse impact on your property. And notwithstanding the great benefit to the public, such as a shooting range, which we approved, but my recollection is the Board of County Commissioners disapproved. Is that correct? So notwithstanding that analogous situation, here you've got a case where you've got the undue adverse impacts that have been presented in a very cogent manner, and we are prepared to still say, it's okay, we're going to approve it. But again, subject to appeal to the Board of County Commissioners. So I realize I've taken a lot of time, but I certainly wanted to get on record why I am opposed to it. It is not because I think the applicant is a poor operator or that they're bad people. It's that this does unduly impact surrounding properties, and it does create, in my view, a very serious safety risk.
Yes. Thank you. Commissioner Murphy, would you like to add some comments?
Going over the couple of emails that were sent to Mr. Holden from some of the neighbors. There's a lot of things on here that kind of have been disproven as being an issue. There's the B&B, there's the structures on site that are unpermitted, with the exception of the one that's close to the property line. Spot zoning, negative effect on property values, that really wasn't addressed, but that's can be debated. Wildfire, all this kind of stuff. I think the number one thing that has merit is the traffic hazard situation. I think that has merit. However, I agree with some of my other fellow commissioners. If Idaho Transportation Department decides that they have to put it in a lane that's 60 foot, 80 foot, whatever it is to their satisfaction, that falls within their safety zone, then that has to be done before this moves forward anyway. So am I right in saying that, Mr. Holden? So we can approve this, but then if ITD comes out and says, hey, you need to do this, and that doesn't get done, then the approval, I think, would stop at that point, correct? Correct. So this is all contingent upon the inspection of the Transportation Department and making sure that it is indeed room to maneuver and there's proper space, et cetera. So I think that is the big issue, and because that issue is controlled by another, I think that is a non-issue on our dais. So, but the other thing is, excuse me, seems the music thing would be great, and it's not for me to say, but the applicant maybe should have a chat with Mr. Richardson about sound and also Mr. Markham about sound. And I know it's a very good community, and it seems like there's a lot of love over there. Maybe transmitting or attempting to transmit some of that love to some neighbors would not hurt you. But again, that's just my opinion. So with that, I'm also a yes on this.
Thank you. I'll toss in a few comments too. I agree with Commissioner Burgess that the traffic problem is the biggest thing out there. Again, I follow along with just, ITD seems to be aware of the problems there. They've got their recommendations and their requirements. And if it is something, sounds like they will be monitoring it. So if it does appear to be a problem down the road, they will come back and make some, require some corrections there. I'm a little uncomfortable with the 150 people, because you are putting a concentration of people who will be leaving one spot at approximately the same time at probably the worst place at the bottom of that hill. And if Commissioner Scott, if you would be open to an amendment to your motion to reduce that number from right now we're at 150 plus the party. And you know, I don't know how you would define the wedding party. Does that include bridesmaids, grooms, and family members, and everybody else that could run up to be a number of people? So
I'm fine with just capping 150 if that's fine with you. Party and everything, just 150, because that's what was assumed. I mean, the applicant admitted that up front. So
Yeah.
if we want to just cap it at that 150, regardless of party, I'm fine with that. I can amend to that.
yeah, that would be great. I'd even like to see it lower. Again, you're putting 150, maximum 150 people, one place, leaving at one time at probably the worst part on that road. I do like the idea that if you've got a chunk of land, trying to make that land sustainable, so it is paying for itself. It's just not a bunch of land there, but using it to benefit people, to have people come out, whether it's for goats or for a wedding. I like to. That's nice to see that you do have to make that land work for you. And we're cleaning up some other things. We're getting permits for the horseback riding. There's just some other things that are being cleaned up there. And you know, we're not responsible for code enforcement here. So if there are other violations, I'd recommend, if somebody's aware of them, that this isn't the place to bring them. There are people who would look into that, but that's not us. And I think if you want to be a good steward, that down the road, just working in trying to stay with things that are permitted and keeping your operations permitted. I can't see any other way, I guess. So, and again, there is that a chance to appeal to the county commissioners. But I will be voting yes on this one. And again, I guess if you did have a couple of terrible accidents, you guys, your business would be sunk probably, because you'd have a very negative stigma going on with your business. And with that, any other comments that like to? And
Mr.
Do you want me to? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, just
if you could, yes, amend that.
Yeah, I think, Mr. Chairman, we'd recommend, you know, if the motion maker was open to adding that limitation, just direct staff to basically approve and add a condition limiting the number of participants.
And we're not going to have to table it for that, though.
We will not. No, you can add that condition.
So Commissioner Scott,
Do I have to do the whole thing over again, or can I just say that?
You can say you
Give a
amend your
second.
motion to add a condition to limit participants to no more than 150 people per event. Something along those lines.
Okay, sounds good. So I amend my motion to limit the maximum number of people per event to 150.
Okay.
I think we need a second on that, don't we?
Yeah, I do. Can we get a second on that to amend?
Second.
Commissioner Murphy seconds it. So we're voting on, those in favor of the amendment, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Nay.
And,
Nay.
And one nay. Thank you. With that, we'll go ahead and vote. Those in favor of approval of this application, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And any opposed?
Aye.
Sorry, any opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Thank you. We're done with that. Thank you very much. Appreciate all of you who've come out and for being civil and presenting your voice as well. Thank you. We will do the minutes. We looking for.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes. Commissioner Murphy.
I move to approve the minutes of the Ada County P&Z Commission public hearing that was held on April 9th, 2026.
We have a motion to approve the minutes of the April 9th, 2026 meeting. I have a second.
Second.
Commissioner Birch, second. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
I abstain because I was not
We
there.
have 2 abstentions. Commissioner Scott and Commissioner Colson will abstain. And Mr. Beck.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, if you'd like, I would happy to give you an overview of what the county commissioners were up to last night, if that's of interest.
Yes, if you'd like to, go ahead, please give us a.
Sure. Yeah, so the Board of County Commissioners had 4 items last night. They were out in 30 minutes. They were pretty efficient. They had a light agenda for sure. Up first, they had just a simple time extension. There is a church on the southwest corner of Lake Hazel and Cloverdale. ACHD is widening that intersection. They walked through a parking lot kind of modification for the church. Because ACHD is not ready to go forward with that, they asked for a time extension. The board granted that. The board then considered 2 property consolidation requests and easement vacation requests in essentially kind of the same area in the Eagle Foothills. Both properties they were both non-farm subdivisions. They had a buildable parcel and open space parcel. Both applicants wanted to combine the 2, vacate the common easements so they could enjoy the full use of their property. Board approved both of those. They were both on Quarter Drive, if you're familiar with that area in the foothills. And then they ended with just a property boundary adjustment and variance. The classic scenario where a builder measured from a fence instead of the property line. House was a little bit too close, so they adjusted the property line to actually match the fence. It dropped one of the parcels below the minimum size, so they needed a variance for parcel size. Board approved that as well, and then they were out. And the only bonus materials I'll add is we are still looking. We haven't received any applications that I'm aware of for Commissioner Blitman's replacement. So if you personally know of somebody who might be a good addition to the team, feel free.
What's the requirement? Because it's in zone, so was Commissioner Blitman, was she outside, was she in Ada County?
She was CUNA.
She was in CUNA. I don't know if she was
She
in there.
termed out, I thought, didn't it?
Well, yeah, we did ask her if she wanted to continue with how long she'd been on the commission. She decided to let somebody else take the reins. I can't recall if she was in an impact area or out of the impact area, but yeah, ideally somebody in CUNA's impact area. If we could find somebody outside of an impact area, that'd be great.
It's impact area and it's outside
city limits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's in city limits. in
Yep, the three
impact.
categories.
Right, so do you know which one she was?
I do not know. Let me take a look and I can email you kind of what would be ideal.
I'm guessing she was in the area of impact outside city limits.
I think so.
Yeah,
Sounds
so
like
it kind of area 2, I think it's called.
Which is pretty much. Yeah, okay, gotcha.
That would be my guess.
And then the only other item, kind of a similar flavor, is we just had the Board of County Commissioners adopt our contract to update the comprehensive plan. They did that Tuesday. So we've got Logan Simpson coming on as a consultant. We are trying to get together a citizens advisory committee. So in addition to coming to you all for feedback, we've got this committee that's going to regularly meet with Logan Simpson to provide feedback. We've got same kind of application process for anybody who may be interested. If you know of somebody, that would be great to kind of help lend their voice to what the vision of the county could look like. You know, feel free to send it out. We've got some social media posts, but that's out there as well. So we look forward to.
Is there a no family requirement on that by chance? Like, or is that frowned
I think
upon?
it's open. Yeah, if you have a family member that would be interested, I wouldn't hesitate to have them apply.
Possibly a brother is that's the only reason I asked.
Okay.
Anything else? Commissioner Scott, what is that over your left shoulder, the green thing? Looks like a.
This?
Is it like a shoulder launch missile?
Everyone asks that. So it's I forgot about my background. I should have blurred it. But it's actually just a canister that holds an artillery round, 155 artillery round.
We all have one.
So-
I don't know why I didn't recognize it. Okay.
I also happen to notice, unfortunately, my mug here that my kids gave me from Germany of a woman in a dirndl, which is provocative. I was like, ooh, I should.
You can't. It's kind of blurred. It's sort of blurry.
I was like, oh no.
Yeah, we want to know
I
the
didn't
name of your
wanna, like, turn
podcast.
and, like,
Oh,
What's the
you're-
name of your podcast?
That's funny.
American Power.
With that, we're adjourned.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds